So, but the activity, the process of giving up activity and giving up desire is impossible. And therefore, even the greatest yogis and jnanis, they fall back down. Quite often in India, you see, these persons who are claiming that, they're spiritually realised, and they're involved in politics, and they're involved in altruism, and opening hospitals, so many material activities, because they actually have no taste for their, for the liberated platform. Devotional service, Sankirtan, working for Krishna is very wonderful, because one has so many desires. And when you actually see someone who's suffering, sometimes you see people that come to the temple, you see them on the streets, their lives they're addicted to intoxication. The intoxication is killing them. They look like, something out of a zombie movie. Their face is drawn, they're all, itchy and shaky, they've got the heebie-jeebies, they're suffering. And you see those people, when they start taking prasad, come into the temple, chanting Hare Krishna, and give up intoxication. There's no great happiness. They start chanting Hare Krishna. Actually, the happiness of the devotee is when they see others, not suffering and becoming happy in Krishna consciousness, and the devotee becomes happy. Prabhupada went through so much that we can barely imagine the unlimited happiness Srila Prabhupada felt seeing, going all over the world and seeing people give up their suffering life, their illusory life, and then becoming clean, bright-faced, pure-hearted, and just living a life of chanting and dancing and eating prasad. Therefore, in the prayers to the spiritual master, it says the spiritual master becomes very pleased when he sees his disciples and his followers eating Bhagavad prasad. When we have a festival, or we get, people come and eat the prasad, the devotees become so pleased. Let them all have prasad, let them all dance, let them all chant. Apart from that, actually, even for the beginners, they can, unlimited work, they can preach and enjoy that wonderful pleasure of Sankirtan. It is simple and sublime. For the advanced devotee, Prabhupada says, why is it sublime? They feel the presence of the Lord in all their activities. As well as seeing the effect of Sankirtan, they actually see, I'm performing this very humble activity. Again, you can only imagine, barely imagine the ecstasy Srila Prabhupada felt. Sometimes Prabhupada gave a class, some of the lectures, they last for 2 minutes. He'd arrive in, a temple, he'd see all these devotees who were previously suffering, and they're all just enthusiastic to serve. He'd go to speak, 1.5 minutes, he was just crying. He couldn't speak. Just Krishna, just seeing the mercy of Krishna. So for the advanced devotee, not just seeing the spirit souls being liberated, and also oneself, rising above material existence, and seeing the way back to the spiritual world. But then also, a little further progress, actually you see the constant presence of the personality of God. Krishna, just like Krishna was right there with Arjuna, the devotee sees Krishna right there within the realm of all their activities in Krishna consciousness. I remember one time, sometimes, as it says that, the activities of devotional service, certain activities of devotional service are so potent that even in a neophyte, you can experience trance of ecstasy. Well, to speak of the advanced devotees, that just continues. But I remember one time, remember this, we used to sell the candles, and a lot of them got broken. So we had, Albion had a factory, and there was a big, long line, shelves and shelves of them, hundreds and hundreds of broken candles. Some of them were so broken that the devotees were making the candle. So they're like a Hawaiian candle. You've got a base, a clear base, you dip it into a hot coloured wax, yellow, right, let it cool, dip it into orange, and you get all these colours, and then you carve it a little bit and twist them. They look like pineapples and lanterns and something. But some, they would break. The bits that you twisted, they would break. The devotees brought them back, stick it on the shelf. And then some they thought, maybe we could chip off the outer thing and re-dip them. So there was quite a few that they started hacking away with it, tomahawk or something. And some were like, they carved one over them, or, they dropped the whole box or whatever. Some were really, you couldn't even recognise it was a candle. Anyways, I forget who it was, but someone said, what are we going to do with these? I said, I'll sell them. Because what happened was that we used to go, we went and sold things. These candles were about $20. And so, people might talk you down a couple of dollars or what have you, but there was, because we're multicultural, so we had Greeks and Italians. But it seems that every Greek and Italian had the same method of economics. If you went there with a $200 painting or a $500 painting, they say, yes, I'll buy it. Oh, good. And they go, I'll give you $5. Right? So you couldn't sell them anything. You couldn't sell them a candle. They wouldn't buy anything unless you actually go for $5. They never went above $5, not even $5.50. Yes, I'll buy one. I'll give you $5. So anyway, we got to the end of the marathon, and there was all these broken candles, and I said, I'll sell them. And I had a plan that I was going to go to the factories, because they also have a particular mentality that if one buys, they'll all buy. So I went there and I put out one good candle. I said, anyone like to buy a candle? Oh yes, I'll buy it. $5. Oh no, I couldn't. I couldn't possibly sell it for $5. $5. Oh no. $15. Oh no. So, $5. Oh, you've got me. Okay. So, boom, candle snapped up. And then 20 people, I'll give one for $5. So then I'll pull out the other box. Their arms are just going in, throwing their $5. I sold all of those candles. But on the last day, and you could see Krishna just in their hearts, dipping in, he wanted to engage them. On the last day, I had the worst of the worst candles. I'm telling you, you could not say it was a candle or it was not a candle. It was definitely wax. So I'd run out of people, the $5 people, and there was just one office left open. It was like, everything was shut. They were all in business suits. They're like lawyers or something, I think I'm going to sell the last ones of these. By Christian mercy, I'm selling every last one. So I went in there, and I didn't have a good one. So I just pulled out this thing that, I said, this is my last box. I've sold so many of these. People love them. They look at me. They're like, really? I said, yeah. So anyway, one guy, sort of as a joke, I guess it was Christmas. He said, I'll buy one then. So he bought it. So then everyone else in the office bought one. And they bought the whole lot, right down to this last clump of wax. And then, but they paid good money, because they had plenty of money. They didn't even bargain with them, So I'm standing there with these wads of cash. They're standing there with these chunks of broken wax. We looked at each other. They looked at me. They're looking as if to say, what did you just do? And I couldn't stop smoking. I'm thinking, you bought that? And I've got all this money. I'm thinking, I've got to put this away. I still remember the look on their faces. And it's sort of, I could feel that, I'll tell you, I shouldn't say it, but, I'm not a salesman, but I think Lord Chaitanya was there. It was someone, because they got completely bewildered. and they call it those candles. But you know, it's that transcendental ecstasy that in seeing in the Sankirtan movement that you know you can't get in your dry, you know, speculation. Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman, I am Brahman, I'm still Brahman, yes, Brahman, today I'm Brahman, tomorrow I'll be Brahman. There's nothing in it. But devotional service is, in fact, the only thing that satisfies the soul. And that's the nature of this verse here today. So I'll just leave it there if anyone has any questions or comments. Talk about Sharam Hijab. Hare Krishna. Oh, sorry. Yes. Not that one. The other one.
It's good the internet customers happy.
Yeah.
Is this actually working?
I think it cuts
Temperament.
in and out. Depends on your timing. Go there quick.
You mentioned that we can't change people's karma, but in the Nectar of Devotion it mentions that when you clap in front of the deities, then you're eradicating karma. When we chant Hare Krishna, then we're destroying the reactions to more sinful activities that we can commit. So it's my understanding that we can't remove, you know, action and reaction at the same time. And even Prabhupada says that a devotee will prosper spiritually and even materially, right? So I think that needs a little clarification, because certainly, you know, we're all going to die, you can't stop. There's certain elements of karma that you can't stop, but I think we do change our karma, right?
Yes.
So
there is a bit more clarification. So basically, good point. So I did mention that you may have come in after this, but I did mention it in the Bhagavad Gita 5th chapter that the symptom of devotional service mentioned in the first couple of verses of the 5th chapter of Bhagavad Gita is that it does free one from karma. So devotional service does free one from karma, and it purifies the heart and is very blissful. So those are the three qualities we discussed. Now, but for devotees, as you're also saying, that it does change their destiny, their karmic destiny, as well. In other words, a devotee may not necessarily be awarded certain type of health or wealth or longevity, and yet, by the grace of Krishna, all of those can actually be extended according to how Krishna sees that beneficial for their devotional progress and the service that they're doing. So, therefore, in the 8th chapter, the 8th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, we see that Sukracharya was, did I Hare Krishna, that's on. Sukracharya cursed Bali Maharaj that because you have offended your guru, because Sukracharya told him not to worship God, so Bali Maharaj had no choice but to reject him, but he said, because you have done that, you know, you'll be cursed and lose everything. But factually, in that purport, it describes there that one cannot reduce or take away any of the opulences which were like a gift from the Lord. So they're not according to one's karma, they're specifically not according. So what Bali Maharaj achieved was a gift from Lord Vamanadev, and according to his full surrender. And so that is explained in that it has nothing to do with Bali Maharaj's karma. And nothing can actually interfere with that gift or opulence, longevity, or anything which is given by the Lord to his devotee. Yeah. What's that? A benediction. A benediction. Yeah. So yes, the devotees can increase the duration of their life, their wealth, their health, everything, all the opulences, if those benedictions of the Lord are there, and that has nothing, that is beyond anything to do with their karmic destiny. Yes.
Of course, he can also take it away.
He can take it away. Exactly.
There's a very sad case of a devotee in Mumbai. She left her body yesterday.
Right.
She was diagnosed with cancer on the 8th of May.
Right.
She got her biopsy results yesterday. No, sorry, the day before. And left her body yesterday. So that's pretty.
Yeah.
And so sometimes when they say, oh, why isn't Krishna looking after us? So Krishna can also
That's right. Yeah.
take and give.
Yeah. And that's, Prabhupada mentions that verse a lot in 10th Canto, the Srimad Bhagavatam, because he said, Krishna did that to me. That he took everything. That was Krishna's.
Of course, the thing is that Bali Maharaj, even though he had so much taken away, it's considered actually he was given everything because he's the exemplar of full self-surrender. And he had Krishna come and live, basically come and be his servant because of his surrender.
And
so not everything.
Prabhupada actually quotes Bali Maharaj's example and his own life, that Krishna, in essence, for a devotee who's fully surrendered, he'll take it away as temporary, but really he's going to give you himself, which means you get everything there. That's a good point. So, yeah, any other